Today we're going to be talking about stomp switches, what they are, what they do, and how they do it. Good evening everybody, I hope you're well and your week has brought you everything that you wanted. My name's Marcus and this is the Friday finish. Okay, so foot switches or double pole triple throw switches, or whatever you like to call them, stomp switches. How they work. It's magic. So I'm going to break this down into how they mechanically actually operate. So I'll tear this one apart and we'll have a look at it. And then I'll kind of do some diagrams about how they're wired up, or potentially how they're wired up. There's quite a few different ways of doing it in a guitar pedal. Okay, so let's have a closer look. I've already loosened the tags on this one just so I can open it up. So let's get it there. Right, can you see that in there there's a spring, and when I push that down you can just see that pin appearing there. Okay, so ordinarily what would happen is that would go down and press on the plastic moulding there. I'm going to pop this open now. And so what that pin does is it will push down on here. It's going to be a little bit rickety to do, but basically it pushes down and flips it over. Then when the pin goes back, raises back up, is then centered over the other side and pushes that down. I can't do it because it's awkward without it being under pressure, but you can see basically the pin would go into that piece there and push it down, and vice versa. Okay, so that is how the switching is actuated. How does that make it actually change the contacts? Sorry if this is really cack-handed. It's I'm not very good at close-up magic. So in there you've got these are contacts, okay, and they're on a rocker. In fact, I'll pop them out. They rock from side to side. The central rocker is the common contact, and then every time it's clicked over, the bottom of this is like a soft, again, sprung loaded. So this basically rocks over and pushes these contacts down on a rocker. It makes contact that way, then makes contact that way, makes contact that way and that way. And there's three of those basically just rocking backwards and forwards on those contacts there. So that you see that center line is the common contact, and then it rocks forward, makes contact with these three. You press it again, it rocks the other way and makes contact with those. That's as good a description as I can do. Okay, so wiring up these switches, or getting to grips with how to wire them up. The easiest way to think about this is to think of them as three individual switches all stuck together in one block, which is how this is. Now, let's get that out of the way a second. So the tags always face each other in the switch. Okay, so this one will make contact to this center one will make contact to this one, and then again then you click it and it will make contact to this one. So same here. Okay, they make contact this way. There is no contact whatsoever during the cycle between them this way. Okay, only with the ones that face each other. And like I say, so it's three individual switches all put together. Get wired up in a guitar pedal. So let me draw you one of my artistic little diagrams. Let's crack on. Right, that's good enough. So the way I'm wiring up, now there are several different ways of doing this, so this is my kind of chosen method really. So you have, remember this is the opposite way round, you're looking at it upside down. Okay, so you have your, these would be going to your jacks. So the signal comes in, and then this tag and this tag are linked. Okay, so the signal comes in, and in bypass, as we said, these are linked. These ones are, oh, let me get a different color pen. So the signal comes in, goes across that, and goes out. Okay, that's bypass. That's all it needs to happen. You've got this is going to earth here. Okay, so that's the common earth or ground. I say earth all the time. The LED light is when it's on is connected to earth via the switch. So the earth of the LED so that would have the earth of the LED there. This would then be coming from the circuit. Okay, so let's just say this is a fuzz, and this is going to the fuzz. So then what happens when you have it engaged? Let me find a different color pen. So when it is then engaged, you would have your signal coming in. This pen doesn't work. Oh yes, it does. The signal comes in, and because it's now engaged in this direction, it then goes to your circuit. Okay, and then it comes from the circuit. There's the contact, and it goes out. Now, and obviously when it's on, the LED, the earth connection for the LED would then be completed, so current would be able to flow and the LED would then light up. One final thing to say about this: when the signal is when it's in bypass, in some high gain pedals you can find that the signal can bleed through on bypass from the circuit. So what very often gets done is a link is put in, a hard link is put in from the where the input of the circuit across to this spare lug here, and then what happens there is when the circuit is in bypass, the ground is linked via this to the input of the circuit, and that grounds the input of the circuit, and so there's no signal whatsoever. So it makes it completely quiet in bypass. That, my dear friends, is how a foot switch works. I hope you found that useful and reasonably well explained. If you've got any questions or anything you want to ask me about this or about anything else to do with pedals, to be honest, drop them in the comments. Let's have a discussion. and I'll do my best to answer them. And finally, thank you so much for your likes, your subscribes, your comments, your support, and all your interactions. It means everything to me, and you know, it always will. So that's it for another Friday. And if you like these, subscribe, hit the bell button, and you'll get notifications of all the other episodes that I'm doing. Thank you for watching. I'm Marcus. This is Reeves Electro, and that was the Friday finish. Ice cream, anyone? Oh, and remember, keep it fuzzy.